On this week's episode, the heartbreak of Los Angeles as we move further north and away from the wildfires. Wow, it has been a really interesting 3 days. So just so everybody knows, I do not say where I am until I have left. That's for security reasons. Some van life women have found that men come to visit them if they reveal their campsite. And as somebody that was involved in a criminal stalking case years ago when I was doing the TV thing, I am very careful about where I am. So I am leaving Ventura, and I am not saying where I am going. I'm not leaving Ventura because of the fires. I am leaving Ventura just because it's a little better for me to get further up the coast. What I wanted to share with you is that I met a young couple this morning that were in their camper because their house is burning to the ground in Malibu. Obviously, it's not like I was going to interview them in their moment of crisis, but I was getting coffee at the little place and we chatted. They have 2 dogs, 2 of their other dogs, so they have 4, but they couldn't evacuate all 4, so 2 of them are somewhere else with a friend, and they don't know if their house has burned to the ground. Based on what I saw this morning about Malibu, I think it would be highly unlikely that their house survived. A young couple, beautiful, outdoorsy people. I also met 2 women who, as they say, leave their husbands at home and go out on the road, and then they find beautiful spots. So that was great. What I'm doing this morning is I'm heading north, but before I head north, I'm heading south to go to Trader Joe's, because everybody in van life talks about how Trader Joe's is so amazing for food, and I missed it ever so slightly yesterday, and I want to know what all the fuss is about. I'm assuming it's kind of like a Whole Foods, and I used to live above a Whole Foods when I lived at well, I didn't live at a football stadium. I lived in an apartment above the football stadium. So I'm going there first because I can't check into my new location, also along the California coast, until noon. It is currently 10:48. So errands, I need to get gas because I never go below half a tank, simply because I have learned that sometimes you end up in the middle of nowhere, and that's a really bad idea. So gas, Trader Joe's, and then settle into, I can tell you because I'm not going to tell you for another week where I was, is Hobson Beach. So that's where I'm going. And I still struggle with what the people in Los Angeles are going through, and the fact that people are now looting what is left of their homes is absolutely disgusting to me, and that people would take advantage of, I think it's principally Malibu, but come on, humanity, get your shit together, man. So we finally ended up at Trader Joe's. Lots of healthy food. It was amazing. I discovered these, and they do really well when you're camping. But I'm not entirely sure that it was anything different. Oh, and they also have bathrooms. Huge bonus. But for, I think it was about $50. Oh, and I had to get truffle cheese, of course, because who doesn't do that? It was okay. Okay, so went to Trader Joe's. I'll show you all the health food that I was able to get and tell you how much that costs. It's definitely cheaper than Canada, but food prices are really high in California, and sometimes gas prices are just out of this world. I think the last time I paid was $4 a gallon. But I wanted to share a story with you. The young man who was collecting carts, I chatted with him as I am known to do. And we were talking about pricing in this part of California. We're also talking about the wildfires. And he said 64% of his income, and he has 2 jobs, goes to housing in this area. And so he was very curious about Canada, and we were talking about it. And then he said, maybe you'll be the 51st state. And I said, over my effing dead body. And he laughed and he said, we just think that this dude is just making up stuff. And by the way, we're going to buy Greenland. And I said, well, good luck to you. But the pricing, 64% of everything he makes in 2 jobs. I don't know where his other job is, but here one is at Trader Joe's, is simply for rent. So, you know, beautiful California dreaming, but it is expensive. So I'm about to go to my other expensive campsite. Again, it's on the ocean. I don't complain. This one I have power and electricity, so it's fancy. So it's about $60 US a night. But I do need to do some work, and power is incredibly important to that process. So off we go. But yeah, Trader Joe's. It was great. I don't know if they're all different, but no different than the Whole Foods that I used to live above at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa. So yeah, I appreciate that people love it, but I wasn't quite sure why it was that different. However, I'm stocked up on super healthy food and I'm good to go. Talk to you later. So we ended up on Hobson Beach, which is a little further from Ventura, and the sights, oh, they were amazing. On next week's episode, we move on to Santa Barbara and then San Francisco to see an old and dear friend.